This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
This is the late night news on NDTV Hindu and I'm Evelyn Matthew. Let's bring you the top stories tonight. Chennai hasn't learned lessons from Bhopal. Noxious fumes are spewed every day by refineries in Manali. A special investigation.
Every bit of Manali, from the air to the groundwater to the soil, stands poisoned because of these petrochemical units.
11 new cases of swine flu in Kerala. The government wants a central inspection team. Tamil Nadu sounds an alert. The PMK spearheads a demand to bring back caste-based census, wants the Home Ministry to reconsider its decision. Chennai tops the list in neglecting the elderly. 70% of senior citizens feel cut off from their families. What's happening to Chennai? 3 murders in one night in the city. Craze to become an engineer, 50,000 more applications for these courses this year. 5 fire tenders battle ablaze at the 3rd floor of the government Erilagam complex. Vijay Mallya wants to set foot into the Rajya Sabha. The BJP backs the king of good times. The lessons of Bhopal can never be learnt, it seems. While the mainstream media is baying for the blood of all those who let Bhopal happen, NDTV Hindu takes a look at the future. Chennai's very own mini Bhopal in the making. A slow disaster caused by years and years of pollution by petroleum refining in Manali has made Chennai suburb, as our investigative reporter Simonish finds out, a chilling reminder of how things can go horribly wrong in the no-holds-barred race for industrialization.
Sample of the groundwater. The subsoil turned black after carcinogenic suspended particles have formed a thin crust, killing everything that grows on it. And children whose bodies and organs are silently facing the brunt of a poisonous assault. At the center of it all is this: noxious fumes like benzene and hydrogen sulfide released from relentless refining in Chennai Petrochemicals refinery in Manali. Children like Satish have ever since their birth learned to live in this hostile environment, but are constantly reminded of what these fumes from CPCL's refineries are doing to their growing bodies.
சின்ன பசங்க சில சமயம் வலிக்குதுன்னுவாங்க, மூச்சு அதான் சீராக வாங்க முடியாது, கொஞ்சம் இஸ்திஸ் தான் வாங்க முடியும்.
ரொம்ப எரிக்கும், அரிக்கிற மாதிரியே இருக்கும், வலி தாங்க முடியாது. அதனால நான் எங்கேயாச்சும் போய் எங்கள் அம்மாகிட்ட போய் சொல்லுவேன்.
ஒரு சமயம் வாந்தி இதெல்லாம் வருது, என்ன பண்ணுறது, எல்லாத்தையும் பார்த்து ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் போயிட்டு வந்து வேறு வழி இல்லாமல் இந்த தண்ணி வேறு வழி இல்லை எங்களுக்கு, இந்த தண்ணி தான் குடிச்சாகணும். இங்கே கிணறு கிடையாது.
What's worse is the sheer carelessness on display by CPCL. Look at this. The LED screen, which is required to display just how much of the poisonous gases CPCL is throwing into the atmosphere, doesn't even work. Shocking, especially since CPCL's emissions include some of the most dangerous gases, like the cancer-causing benzene and ethanol. While concentrations of benzene are 20 times the prescribed level, those of hydrogen sulfide are 20 times more than the safe level.
இப்போ இன்னைக்கு போபாலில் நடந்த சம்பவங்களுக்கு யார் மேலே சொல்கிறதுன்றதே இல்லாத அளவில் இன்றைக்கி சமீப காலமாக இந்த ஒரு வாரமாக நடந்துக்கிட்டு இருக்க பிரச்சனையை பார்க்கும்போது அரசாங்கம் யார் மேலேயும் போடுற மாதிரியே தெரியல. அரசாங்கமும் இதுக்கு பொறுப்பு எடுத்துக்கிற மாதிரி இல்லை, இங்கே இருக்கிற இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸும் பொறுப்பு எடுத்துக்கிட்டு இருக்க மாதிரி இல்லை.
Manali could well turn out to be Chennai's mini Bhopal in more ways than one. This is the petrochemicals unit. Tons and tons of spindle lime lie in the open, percolating over the years into the subsoil. 26-year-old Vijay has borne the brunt of it all. His weak limbs barely manage to support his body weight. His speech severely impaired. எவ்வளவு வருஷமா இங்க இருக்கீங்க? Even more shocking is the severe socio-psychological impact of the pollution. Children are born stunted, some die even before reaching their teens. Women are reaching menopause in their 30s.
பெண்களுக்கு மாதவிடா வந்து இடையில கூட எங்களுக்குலாம் இதுவாகுது. அப்பப்ப அது வெள்ளப்படுறது இதெல்லாம் ஓவரா இருக்குது.
The setting sun gives way to the night. The frenzied pace of petroleum refining though just goes on. Officials ignored our request for a response. Every single minute of the day and night, the chimneys of CPCL and TNPCL that you see there throw out tons and tons of carcinogenic and poisonous gases like ethanol and benzene into the air. In fact, so overwhelming is the stench of benzene and ethanol in the air that I can barely, in fact, manage to speak. Every bit of Manali, from the air to the groundwater to the soil, stands poisoned because of these petrochemical units. With camera person Raja Singh, this is Sai Manish for NDTV Hindu.
Well, that little town crying for attention before it gets a little too late. Now, the government has alerted authorities in 6 districts bordering Kerala after 11 new cases of swine flu were reported from the state in the last 2 days. Our health reporter Nitila met the health secretary himself. Let's listen in to what he had to say about this outbreak.
Yes, I have with me here the Health Secretary, Mr. Subbaraj. Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us. Sir, if you can just tell us, Kerala has reported almost 11 cases in the past 2 days, 47 cases in the past month. So the districts around the border have been put on alert. So what precautionary measures are being taken here, sir?
Bordering Kerala, they have been alerted and they are taking all precautions to see that people suffering from symptoms, early symptoms like fever, continued fever, throat pain and cold and other symptoms, they are subjected to H1N1 test. That is why early diagnosis of the disease is very important. So we have trained all our government institutions, government staff. We have also given adequate training to private institutions to see that the patients are identified at the earliest symptoms and they are subject to diagnostic tests.
Sir, the World Tamil Conference is around the corner and it's scheduled to take place in Coimbatore, which is again a bordering district. So any special measures that have been put in place for that, sir?
We have been working for the past 3 months in Coimbatore. Government has sanctioned more than 8 crores to take up health and sanitation measures. So we are fully prepared to meet the exigency of large number of crowd and big crowd and all these things. And we have taken anti-mosquito drive, anti-larval measures we have taken adequately. Safe drinking water is made available and safe drugs. We have deployed our drug testing facilities. We have also deployed food testing facilities there.
Well, there you go. There shouldn't be much of a reason for all of us to worry. Now, we all thought Chennai was a city that's known for its strong family bonding. That belief seems to have been punctured by a research commissioned by HelpAge India. Some shocking findings have been released today, which is also the World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Our crime reporter Salim throws the spotlight on the plight of our elders.
Pattamal, a mother of 5, turned 84 this year. She's been trying to live with her children, but there's no love or care coming from anywhere. She finally decided to work as a maid, and her employer found her shelter in a church-run home for the aged. There are about 70 care centers for them in Chennai. There are 200 abandoned elderly people like Pattamal at this facility in Kilpauk. There are about 70 care centers for them in Chennai. Despite having children, grandchildren and families, for this expanding community of abandoned elders, just one thing is common: loneliness, their biggest challenge.
The shocking thing is neglect. The elders are being neglected and they feel lonely and they have economic issues.
To help the elderly, HelpAge India, an NGO backed by the police, set up a helpline 6 years ago. The police say they receive at least 3 distress calls every day.
The law is not very firm, though the act is it's bailable and gives a punishment of 3 months. I think it is more makes a person more binding.
Reports suggest authorities are hesitant to take action under laws that forbid elders being abandoned because they want to encourage families to settle such issues peacefully. In Chennai with Salim, Jason Tosh for NDTV Hindu.
And the National Director of HelpAge India, Indrani Rajadurai, and Shakil Akhtar, the Additional Commissioner of Police, spoke to our Executive Editor, Sanjay Pinto, about this deplorable condition of our elders today.
Act really helps a lot. First of all, it's a sort of a caution for the children that they have to take care of their parents. As you rightly said, the parents, they toil, they sacrifice for the children education. And you know,
why have children become like this, ma'am? I mean, I know you have moral science classes, catechism classes, which are more like become routine in our schools and colleges. But what explains this attitude? I mean, Chennai we always thought was known for closely knit families. 70% of elders feel neglected in Chennai.
The thing is, now the school.
Were you also shocked when you got the results of this finding?
Very much shocked.
What would you attribute this to in Chennai, in a city where, as I said earlier, there is strong family bonding, or at least we thought there was?
No, it's coming down.
Okay.
Joint family is deteriorating. In fact, it is not there at all. Very few families, they are living together, and once the children get married, they opt for nuclear family, leaving their elderly parents alone or put them in an old age home. I receive calls from sons and daughters. Even this morning I received a call. Can you please find an old age home for my mother? Such children, we used to counsel them and you know, request them to take care of their parents, because it is their duty to take care of their parents.
Many of them think that by just giving money, their job is done, by just giving money, depositing something.
Yes.
What about the emotional support?
Yes, as you rightly said, some of the NRI children, they say that you put our parents in a good old age home, we don't mind paying any amount of money, but money is not going to bring happiness to them. In old age homes they get everything, but you know, they really look out for their children and grandchildren affection.
Okay. Sir, also there are many false dowry harassment cases filed by daughters-in-law against their elderly in-laws, and some of them have to come to the police station. How do you approach such cases, sir?
During course of investigation, if it is found that cases have been registered on the false premises, there is a provision of booking, you know, case against the complainant, those who give the false complaint. And this time, this is emphasized quite frequently. It's better that you give the true complaint, but lot of cases we have found that, you know, it is exaggerated version that comes and all. So instructions have gone to the officers that they should be very cautious during investigations, and only the culprit should be brought to the notice.
How will you sensitize the younger generation? Or merely having a course or counseling session, does that help? Or is there a deeper social cause?
We have a value education program in schools. We address the children in the assembly. Now we have gone one step further. We requested the government to include in the syllabus on age care values, and then we organize various programs like essay writing competition, take the students to old age home visits, bring the elders to the schools.
Maybe for a good idea would be, instead of going on excursions to exotic locations, I think they can go to old age homes and see,
they
so
can
that
celebrate their birthdays in an
absolutely,
old age
which is catching
home.
on in a big way. But I think you also had a pledge being administered today.
Yes.
But what have we come to now? We have to now administer a pledge to our children that they will take care of their parents when they grow old. That's really very sad.
Well, give them the respect they deserve, perhaps. On the other side, we'll tell you why you can't make mistakes while writing that check. More on that coming up in just a bit.